Okay, so welcome to our homemade meatballs over spaghetti squash with marinara. So your spaghetti squash for this meal has already been partially prepped. We roasted the spaghetti squash skin side down for about 25 minutes. So you're going to take a fork and you're going to scrape out the insides of your spaghetti squash onto a sheet tray that's been lined with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can also use aluminum foil. You'll just want to make sure to grease that with a little pan spray. What I like about this meal is basically you're going to need 2 sheet trays lined with parchment, and everything cooks at about the same time. Place those meatballs down about 2 inches apart alongside of your spaghetti squash. And we're also going to take some prepped zucchini and put that around your meatballs just for a little added vegetable in this meal. We're going to drizzle everything with a good amount of olive oil. You don't want this to dry out as it's baking. A little sprinkle of salt. And this pan is all set and ready to go in the oven. And again, we're going to bake this on 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. So once that's going, you can take your marinara, put it into a small saucepan, and place that on your stove on a low heat. This way your marinara is heating up as everything else is cooking, and the goal is to have everything done at the same time. So this week in your bag you're going to have cauliflower and carrots that have already been tossed in a Italian dried herb mix. And you're going to place that on your second half sheet tray or cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper. It is not necessary to use any pan spray because we're going to add a little olive oil, toss that around. And now these vegetables are all set and ready to go in the oven. So at this point we have the meatballs and spaghetti squash that have been in the oven for about 5 minutes. We're going to add your roasted vegetables, and everybody should be done in about 15 minutes. So for the plating process, we're going to just stir that spaghetti squash around just a bit. You'll notice some of it has begun to caramelize just a little bit, creating a nice texture on that spaghetti squash. That's going to go down the center of our platter. You can also plate this by the plate, just depending on the presentation that you're looking for. Take our meatballs and shingle those down the spaghetti squash. Delicious roasted zucchini. And then lastly, you're going to add your marinara to the top. You have a beautiful Italian-inspired meal in just under 25 minutes. So now for the salad, you're going to want to remove the root ball from your lettuce and tear it very lightly. You don't want to tear it too much because this lettuce is so delicate it will break down pretty easily. Then you're going to put your roasted vegetables on top of the lettuce. I would suggest letting the roasted vegetables, come to room temperature for a good 5 minutes just so they're not too hot going on that delicious delicate lettuce. Then you're going to pour your Italian dressing over that's been loaded with banana peppers, green olives, and fresh garlic. Toss that around and then place it on the platter of choice. And that is your Italian-inspired meal with meatballs and spaghetti squash with the roasted vegetable salad and loaded Italian dressing. Enjoy!